Welcome back to the CMO Summit. Before we get going with the next helping of inspiring content, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for helping us bring this event to your screens. And don't forget to visit our website where you can access even more content and check out our in-person events. We could be coming to a city near you. Enjoy the next session.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the CMO Summit. Pleased to introduce our next session of the day, which is going to be with Ling Koi, who is Chief Brand Officer at OneFlow, and we'll be doing a presentation on the ultimate case for brand. So please put any questions you've got in the chat, don't be shy, let us know where you're tuning in from. And I'd like to welcome Ling onto the stage.
Thank you, Caitlin. Very nice introduction. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. I've been practicing this for 2 times now since today. So let's see. Hi, everybody. I'm really excited today to talk to you about how to build a case for brand, and especially during a recession. So first of all, let me say hello again and thank you for being here. I know there's a lot of things on your schedule today, but I'm so glad that you chose to be here today and listen to this presentation. A little bit about me. I'm a mom of 2 daughters. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. I'm a marketer and I'm a writer. And today I work as the Chief Brand Officer of OneFlow. I'm originally from Malaysia. I've lived in Australia and I've been living in Sweden for the past 20 years. I've been a marketing practitioner since 2004. So I've been doing marketing for almost 20 years. And besides my full-time job, I'm also a mentor and a coach for marketing graduates and executives. I'm creating content on the internet, and also I have a 2% newsletter on LinkedIn, so please subscribe to that. And personally, marketing is my life. Really, I have no life, and I love marketing. I love brands, and I also love bubbles. A little bit about OneFlow, and OneFlow is the contract automation platform that makes contracts magic. We were founded in 2012, publicly listed on NASDAQ Stockholm in 2022. And today we have about 150 employees in 7 countries with local offices in countries like Sweden. Sweden is where our headquarters is located. Norway, Finland, Sri Lanka, UK, France, and Netherlands. Customers in 25 countries. And also, yes, we are the future of contract. We have a vision that say contract, think OneFlow. Today's agenda. We're going to look into what can we learn from past recessions, so marketing lessons that we can learn from past recessions. And I'm going to talk a bit about why invest in brand during a downturn. Of course, I'm going to show you a little bit about why calculating the return on investment on brand is really the only way to build your case. The reason why I wanted this to be a topic, because I get a lot of questions from my marketing friends. How do we prove the ROI for brand and long-term investment in marketing to my CEO, to the board, or to the investors? And we found out that there are actually just 2 ways to calculate your brand ROI. I'm going to show you both ways. And of course, at the end of the slide, we're going to show you the structure for building the ultimate case for a brand. So, a little bit of disclaimer. Really, please do your research before taking advice from a complete stranger. Obviously, you don't know who I am. I've been doing marketing for the past 20 years. I've had a lot of experience, but I'm still a complete stranger. So don't take this as is. Marketing lessons from past recessions. So obviously, we're in a recession. This is a bit depressing topic, but we're gonna recover at one point. But I just want to talk a little about what happens in the recession in order for us to understand the psychology that changes in consumers. We want to understand what happens in the recession. Of course, we see an increasing search popularity on the term recession on Google Trends, and it is really just a vibe. And consumer sentiment is going down in the sense that, we have layoffs. Recently, we've seen lots of tech layoffs from companies like Salesforce, Meta, Twitter, Stripe, ChargeBee, you name it. And it's kind of a misery. The rising cost of groceries, things are getting more expensive. I'm sorry about my dog. Things are getting more expensive, and electricity, energy prices are increasing, and also borrowing rates are increasing. So is this new to us? Really, it's not super new. Like Gen Z entering the workforce today, while the economy is heading into recession, it is the first time to them. But for me, really, it's not the first time that we're going through a recession. There have been 11 recessions since 1948 in the US, averaging out to about one recession every 6 years. So, marketing lessons from the past recession. We're gonna go back to 1920s. The forgotten depression is called. Post is a cereal brand, and it was the category leader in cereal and significantly cut ad spend in the 1920s. So Kellogg's, another competitive brand, instead doubled their ad spend in marketing and introduced a new product, and profits actually grew 30% for them. And they went on to own the category for the next few decades. The oil embargo recession, November 1973 and to March 1975. So what happens then? Toyota, a car brand, increased their ad spend at a time when everyone had dropped theirs. Toyota then surpassed Volkswagen to become the top imported car maker in the US by 1976. Again, increase that span and become category leader. Double dip recession. July 1981 to November 1982, that was when I was kind of born. So McGraw-Hill, a publisher company, they did a research on 600 companies from 1980 to 1985 who increased their advertising spend during the 1981 recession. What they found out was that those companies have sales that were 256% higher than those who did not by 1985. Gulf War recession, July 1990 to March 1991. McDonald's dropped their advertising budget. And so Pizza Hut and Taco Bell increased spend on promotions and distribution channels. And their sales grew. Pizza Hut sales grew by 61%, Taco Bell sales grew by 40%, McDonald's sales declined by 28%. So again, and they got really creative because when I was researching this, really they did not just increase on their promotions, they also increased on where they're available physically and mentally. The Great Recession, December 2007 to June 2009, Amazon grew sales by 28%. Amazon continued to innovate with new products like Kindle and contributed to more ebook sales than printed books on Christmas Day 2009. Really, what they really successful there, it was to introduce a lower cost alternative to cash-strapped consumers. So during recession, of course, that's the first Kindle that you see there on the image. During recession, people are fearing of losing their job, and they're thinking about survival. What are their immediate needs? What are the basic necessities? Can I get best value of the things that I have today and of the resources that I have today? Where can I find it? Can I postpone anything that is a nice to have? I'm just going to do the must have. I'm going to try to protect the money that I have and everything that I have. And also, I'm going to try to think to how to make extra money. maybe doing like a side hustles or something like that. At this point, you're going to see increase in search on YouTube videos like how to make more money. So, from marketing perspective, you want to look into our messaging strategies. How can we adapt our messaging to answer to the recession psychology changes that is happening right now? So, when people are in fear, they need love. So we want to promote TLC, tender loving care. This is how you be taken care of. Talk about your support, talk about your customer care, talk about your customer service. This is how you can maximize the money that you already invested. Talk about how you can get more of the existing investment that you already made. This is where you can get the best value. So, not just talk about how much money you can save, but also where you can find the best value. This is how you save money, tips and tricks on how to save money and get the most out of what you have. This is what you should do to protect what you have. This is how you make extra money. So these are just some of the examples that you would want to look into your marketing strategies today. And I'm not just talking about content and organic social, anything that you do organically, but this is also in your ads. Like, look into your Google ads, look into your paid social. What are the keywords that you might want to change because of recession? So, brand, is an important investment, but even more so during a downturn. Because the cost of going dark, the cost of cutting spend on brand is that people might forget who you are in the end of the day. So a brand judged to be on a way down because it has fallen silent will very rapidly see this manifested in word of mouth, which will accelerate the perception of failure. So if you can't see the image there, it's like, I think about you, I kind of forget what you look like. That's what they say in the visual. So you don't want to go dark. And brand investment really drives demand and builds value for shareholders. Brand building activities are typically helping companies to sell more at a higher price, more efficiently for a longer time, and more sustainably. Not just promoting the effectiveness of performance marketing in the sense that with brand spend we're going to be more effective in other parts of marketing that they invest money in, but it is also increase effectiveness in sales, shorter sales cycle because people already know about you, and of course, talent acquisition. If you're hiring right now, of course, brand will help you to reach the right person, the right candidates, and attract the right candidates to come wanting to work with you. So, what I'm trying to say with this slide is that brand really not just helping increasing effectiveness for marketing, but it's also sales and talent acquisition. There's this research done by Kanta Brand, and what they found is that um, repeatedly, business that invests in brands outperform the market, delivers superior shareholder values. Investing in brand remains the most powerful way to grow. And as you can see here on this chart over here, really the brands that generate superior shareholder returns are the ones that has the most powerful brands. You have probably seen this chart before. It's from Binet and Field. What they're really saying here is that investment in brand building activity pay back much more strongly than short-term sales activation activity. So strengthening brand helps improve the impact of sales activation. So sales activation on the spikes that go up and down here, but brand really is a staircase. It becomes stronger over time. So without brand, short-term sales peaks could get lower and base sales could even drop over time. The compound effects of all this marketing activity working together become stronger over time. My take on investing in brand during a downturn is the same as Michelle Obama's take: when they go low, you go high. I want you to be the image of stability during the downturn and also be the top of mind when the recovery inevitably happens. Now to the fun part, brand ROI. So many people are reaching out to me even before this session, like how do you really calculate the ROI of brand? And it is the only way to build your case. Unfortunately, we have had a lot of attribution software out there that kind of take our attention away from doing real marketing. And usually, people that I've been talking to are building the case for founders, the CEO and the management team, the board of directors, investors, shareholders. So this is your target audience, right? And do you think they would care about these metrics? Brand search, direct traffic, organic social, followers growth, share of voice? Those are the 5 top used metrics to measure brand today in the marketing world because that's what we can get. Do you think the founder, CEO, board of directors, investors, shareholders really care about these metrics? No. The answer is no, because it's always about the money. They want to see how much I can get back from the investment that I'm making with the brand. What is the potential? So you want to show them the money. There are 2 ways to calculate your brand ROI ultimately. And I'm going to review this today. And normally you would have heard about the Binet and Phil way of doing this. And it's one of the way. The other way that's probably not so commonly used is the top-down approach. But you also the bottom-up approach. So the bottom-up approach is the Binet and Phil way. But the top-down approach is something that we have overlooked over time. So, the top down approach principles. You want to think about the 95-5 rule. You want to know the total addressable market for the space that you're operating in. And you want to understand what is the brand effect on the ready to buy market versus the brand effect on the total addressable market. Bottom up principles. So this is a share of search. If you're familiar with Binet and Field, they have developed a method where you can use share of search as an indicator of your brand awareness. And with that, you need to understand the competitor landscape and you need to know the revenue figures. So, the top down approach. What is the 95-5 rule? This is a research done by Aaron Barry Bass. Only 5% of B2B buyers today are in the market at any time, which means that 95% of the market are not ready to buy today. So the green circle represents your total addressable market, and the purple circle represents the ones that are ready to buy from you today. And this is because companies only change providers once every 5 years on average. And what you want to do with brand is that you want to build memory shortcuts to your brand in that category so that you can be the top of mind when they're ready to buy. So remember, and this is not just like B2C or any other category. This is typically B2B buyers. So what's my take on investing in brand during a downturn is that during a recession, not only 95%, but this actually means more than 95% will not be ready to buy due to the fact that recession psychology is different today. We're more fearful about money. We're more protective of what we have. We want to make sure that we can maximize what we have today. And so it's not just 95%, it's more than that. And spending money on brand will build pipeline for the inevitable recovery. This is how you calculate the potential of your brand investment. So I want you to calculate the brand effect on your rated buy market share. This is an example. There are a couple more examples that I don't have time to show today, but this is one of the way to do it. So the total addressable market is the green circle, and then the 5% rated buy market is in the purple circle. So of so first of all, you need to understand how much is your total addressable market. And then you want to make sure that when you take 5% of the total addressable market, so you have the value of the purple dot, and you want to underestimate how much of the percentage you currently own in the purple dot, so like in the ready to buy market. If you would do a brand investment today, how much percentage increase you think you would have effect on increasing your percentage or your market share in the ready to buy market? So if say your percentage of your the market share of your ready to buy market today is at 1%, and by doing your brand campaigns for the next year or so, you think it would increase by 2%. And so you want to multiply that with number 2. The difference between the amount of number 4 and your current market share is your brand effect. And that's in dollars or in whatever currency that you choose to do. And so for your brand ROI, it's super simple. So you just take the total amount that you calculate in number 5 minus the investment that you make in the brand campaigns and times 100. And that's your total return on investment. This is the bottom-up approach. So the bottom-up approach is super simple. You would use the share of search by name and field using Google Trends. And by definition, the share of search is the number of searches of your brand in Google Trends divided by the number of searches of your competitors. Well, actually, the total number of searches for all your competitors. And you get a percentage of, or maybe it's not even a percentage, it's like a figure that tell you what is the share of search today. So share of search is pretty interesting because it's kind of correlated with the market share. And you can use it as a predictor of your market share. So if your share of search is rising, we can expect to see an increase in market share later on too. 6 years of research by Marketer Binet shows a clear correlation between them. So between the share of search and the market share. So when searches are large relative to our size, it's a positive sign of growth. And as you can see here, if your market share is going down, you're going to be seeing that, your market share will be going down within a time gap that is probably different for different industries. What is the ultimate case for brands? So now I'm going to show you the structure that we've used with many marketers to win the case for brand. And it's super simple. You want to think Shark Tank. So think about it. Your audience here is the board of directors. They're investors. They're this people who's used to investing in companies or CEO. They're starting a business because they want to increase their wealth. So why should they invest in you? Number one, always present your data based on research. And that could be, the content brand research that I showed you earlier in the slide. It could be the opinion and field research that I showed you earlier in the slide. So that's your 2 slides, right? And then you want to talk about your ask. What is your ask? How much resources you need? How much money you need for doing your campaign or doing your rebranding or whatnot? And you want to talk about how you're going to use the fund, how you're going to use the money, how you're going to use the time, the resources that you require. So that's your number 4 slide. And number 5 slide, you want to talk about the problems that you solve with this campaign or rebrand. And you want to talk about the potential of this campaign and rebrand and potential. You can actually show that with the top-down approach calculation of brand ROI. And so, and if we were going to go back one step, what kind of problems you solve by investing in brand, you can show that with the bottom-up approach because you know that today your brand awareness is at this level, 23, for instance, and you want to increase it to 30 by the end of the year. This is what you need. And 5, really, it's just a slide of showing the money, and that's exactly how you do it. So That's it for me today. If you like what you hear today, connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't already, and also tag me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can also download your slides on my Gumroad website. Yeah, I look forward to, if you have any questions or any comments or feedback, I would love to hear it.
Thanks so much, Ling. That was a great session. I've just put the link in there in the chat to your Gumroad site where people can download your slides, because I know people were asking during the session. Any questions, please pop them in the chat. I know we've got some great feedback coming through. Anna says, what a fantastic session, super clear, very useful tips. And would love a couple of your slides. Well, that's in the chat now. Yeah, loads of great comments coming in there. Give it another minute, see if any questions come through at all. But in the meantime,
I'm just going through the chat right now. Thank you so much for all the amazing feedback. I'm so happy to hear. I feel good now. I can go back.
Yeah, you can carry on with your day.
I'm so glad I do it live. But first I was thinking of recording, and then I realized, oh no, I'm gonna do it live. And it's so much fun to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to see those live comments coming in, isn't it? Cool. Well, thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you do have any questions for Ling that you think of after this closes, which always happens to me, feel free to reach out to her on LinkedIn. I'm sure happy to receive questions there. I think we've actually just had one through from Dominique, who's just asked, any advice for using a mix of outside agency and in-house work to tackle brand campaign costs?
I mean, I definitely see that a huge challenge. The thing is, it depends on what kind of resources you have in-house today. A lot of times, I had my own agents before, and I know that if you're a really, really good designer, you normally wouldn't want to work in-house. Sorry. If you're a really good designer, you want to work with like an amazing agency. So what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to combine, different things. Like if you want to run the strategy yourself, that's fine. Because you're still the person that will know your brand the best and the DNA of your company. But I would use an external agency for the more elaborated design work, because I know that the best designers are actually at agencies.
Oh, thank you. Nice. Well, if no one else has any other questions, we are actually at time now. So thanks so much, Ling, for a great presentation. And thank you to everyone for tuning in today. You can join our Slack channel to carry on the conversation. The link to that is in the feed. I've also popped a link into our revenue marketing events, which are taking place in London and New York, if anyone would like to join us in real life. So yeah, thank you, everyone. And stay with us. We've got another session coming up soon.
Thank you so much, Kaylin, and thank you so much, everybody, for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. See you at LinkedIn.
Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye-bye.